Hey, welcome back to the channel. Imagine standing at the edge of your potential, knowing deep down that you were meant for more. But something keeps holding you back. That feeling of being tired, not just physically, but emotionally drained from making excuses, from waiting for the right moment to take action. There comes a time when you have to say, enough is enough. No more waiting. No more excuses. Every successful person has mastered one key skill: self-discipline. The ability to show up, to follow through, to keep commitments even when motivation fades. Success isn't about luck or talent alone, it's about consistency, about refusing to let emotions dictate your actions. There are two kinds of people in this world: those who wait to feel ready before they act, and those who act first, knowing that motivation will follow. The difference? One stays stuck, endlessly waiting. The other, they build momentum, they create change, they move forward. This weekend, challenge yourself. Ask, am I disciplined? Am I doing what needs to be done? Or am I waiting for the right feeling? Leonardo da Vinci once said, one can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery of oneself. The greatest minds, the game changers of history, they all had this one thing in common: they didn't let doubt or hesitation stop them. What if you could rewire your mindset? What if you could shift your beliefs, upgrade them in real time, and unlock abilities you never thought you had? Imagine that moment of realization, like Neo in The Matrix, when he suddenly knows Kung Fu. What if you saw life that way? What if every skill you could acquire was another step toward becoming unstoppable? Stop comparing yourself to others. The only race you're in is against the best version of yourself. The moment you understand that, you stop doubting whether you belong at the table. You do. But to sit there with confidence, you have to immerse yourself in success, learn the language, surround yourself with those who have already achieved what you dream of. Success has a rhythm, a mindset, and you need to tune into it. Now picture this. You're on your deathbed, and around you stand the ghosts of your dreams, your ideas, your talents, the ones you never acted on, the books you never wrote, the songs you never sang, the inventions you never built. They look at you, not with disappointment, but with anger, because only you could have brought them to life, and now they must die with you. The wealthiest place on earth isn't the oil fields, the diamond mines. It's the cemetery, where unrealized dreams are buried forever. Think about that. What will die with you if you don't act now? What legacy will remain unlived? Live full. Die empty. Don't carry your dreams to the grave. If you have a vision, a goal, something burning inside you, commit to it. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Personal growth, professional success, your impact on the world, it all starts with a decision. Look around, shake someone's hand, and say this out loud. Get out of your head and step into your greatness. Because that's where it all begins. Everything you want is on the other side of action. The only question left is, will you take the first step? When I was in 5th grade, I was labeled as someone who couldn't learn. They called it educable mentally retarded, and I was held back, forced to repeat the 4th grade. Then again, I failed the 8th grade. No college, no formal training, just a young boy who was told he wasn't smart enough. But then, one man changed everything. His name was Mr. Leroy Washington. He's in his 80s now. And though glaucoma has taken his sight, he gave me a vision I never had before. I was in his classroom one day, waiting for another student, when he walked in and asked me to come up to the board and solve a problem. I hesitated. I can't, I said. Why not? He asked. Because I'm not one of your students. He looked at me and said, that doesn't matter. Go to the board and solve it. Still, I resisted. Sir, I can't do that. I'm in special education. I've been told I can't learn. The students laughed. That's not Wesley, they said. That's Leslie. Wesley's the smart one. He's DT ! Confused. Mr. Washington asked, what's DT? I swallowed hard and said, the dumb twin, sir. The room erupted with laughter. But instead of laughing, Mr. Washington stepped from behind his desk, walked right up to me, looked me in the eyes and said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. At that moment, I felt two things: humiliation, yes, but also something I had never felt before: liberation. For the first time, someone saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself. He believed in me, and I started to believe too. That belief is what carries us forward. Because if one person somewhere at some time has achieved something great, then that means it's possible for you too. But I made a mistake. I got caught up in the how. How would I do it? How could I, of all people, succeed? And I stayed stuck in that question for 14 years. 14 years lost to fear, to doubt, to hesitation. Time I will never get back. And that's why I made it my mission to help others break free from that same trap, to stop procrastinating, stop waiting, and start moving. How many times have you had an idea, a dream, a goal, and talked yourself out of it? Convinced yourself it wasn't possible? Raise your hand. There's a proverb that says, "If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm." Every day we have to remind ourselves that it's possible. Every book I read, every seminar I attended, every speaker I listened to, it all disrupted the way I saw myself. It challenged the limits I had accepted as truth. Everything matters. Every choice, every action, every thought. Looking back now, I realize that the way I did one thing was the way I did everything. My choices reflected the story I believed about myself. And if you want to change your life, you have to change that story. It's an ongoing process because we're always growing, always evolving. We are constantly stepping out of one story and into another. And let me tell you something, it takes work, mental work, emotional work, because life will test you. I believe most people go to their graves with their dreams still inside them. Not because they didn't have the talent, not because they weren't capable, but because they never realized they could. They didn't know that they didn't know. They thought they understood their own potential, but they never truly saw themselves for what they could be. And fear. Oh, fear is a powerful thing. I was afraid too. I wanted to speak for corporations, but I had never worked for one. I didn't have a college education, and because I had no experience, I assumed I couldn't do it. I let fear paralyze me. I let doubt keep me small. But here's what I learned. Just because you don't know how doesn't mean you can't learn. Just because you're not great now doesn't mean you can't be great later. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. So take the leap. Trust yourself. Build your wings on the way down. The ones who truly live their dreams, that small percentage of people who go all the way, they take risks, they fall, they fail, but they get up again and again. They take life head on. They understand that growth comes from challenge, that happiness comes from becoming their best. Because if you aren't growing, if you aren't striving, then what are you really doing? Helen Keller once said, "Life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first." And she was right. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. The time is now.